So I just updated my Android. And,
Right.
well, I should say that it updated itself without my permission. It's doing that thing now, you know. So
Of course.
now I can't swipe down. No Bluetooth, no
Ah.
settings, no flashlight, no good morning LG, you're aging gracefully, just none of that. It's just all gone, right? Nothing worked. Seriously, I was like I was trying to pet the ghost of a cat that wasn't there.
I totally see you swiping in the air like you was about to shoo away a Bee Gees reunion.
10 minutes swiping, tapping. I'm rotating
10
the
minutes
phone
you'll
like
never
a-
get back.
Eventually, I just gave up. I yelled, "Look, open settings into it!" Right when you're on the phone with like customer service, like the phone's going to respond to desperation and dad rage. So I bark at it, and then what happens? The screen just dims like it was playing dead on me.
They want facial recognition, some kind of biometric scans, and a signed affidavit from your bloodline.
Exactly. And you know who never had this problem? Metalheads, right? They remember back in the day in school, they didn't swipe, they didn't have to download. You guys just showed up, you made noise, and you hope no one got electrocuted.
You know, metal doesn't need instructions. You know what I'm saying? It just needed some volume and probably a tetanus shot. But listen, and dude, I read this, and this is apparently a scientific study. Just confirmed this article I'd seen that 80's metalhead kids apparently grew up to be some of the most well-adjusted adults, and you know, you take that for what it's worth.
You heard scientific study and you still believed it?
It sounded fancy. It sounded like a school that you would know, dude. Listen, I'm the focus group. I'm the focus group here. You know, I'm talking Slayer T-shirt, first job interview, and still got hired. It's not so much what's on the outside. You know, it's emotional intelligence is what I'm telling you.
Well, that's actually HR falling asleep.
Listen, a lot of head banging. Turns out all that stuff was just neck yoga. I mean, you know, we were centering ourselves.
Sure.
Aggressively centering ourselves. We were the pioneers of misunderstood mindfulness with just loud jackets. You know?
So what you're saying is you screaming "Ride the Lightning" in high school was actually just a coping mechanism, perhaps?
It was therapy with a double kick drum.
Now you're well adjusted, sir. See, so it worked.
You know, bro, listen, through all the huge vinyl collection I have, I still alphabetize at LG. You know, listen, I floss. I floss twice a day. I bought a salad spinner last week, dude. This is peak functionality.
Oh, you're completely domesticated. You're the only guy I know who went from a mosh pit to a charcuterie board.
Still metal, though. I mean, you know, I'm still to the bone, baby. It's just artisanal.
I just watched a video of a guy with no arms and no legs doing martial arts. So apparently everyone's evolving.
He was in the competition. He was competing
oh no, he wasn't only just competing, he was winning. They showed him taking people down, and I use air quotes the size of Steven Seagal's ego here because he would tap someone on the ankle with his heel and they would just fall like they got hit with a WWE folding chair.
This guy's like a legend, is what we're saying. This is legendary moves.
More like the people around him are legends. The legends in the ancient art of make-believe. Like, I get it, you know? I mean, be supportive, be kind, but, you know, don't throw your ACL out pretending that you got swept off your feet by a dude who literally has no feet.
Who's the bad guy here? Was it him or the guy who agreed to find a human Roomba?
That's my point here, man. I mean, they're at fault. The moral is, look, love and support people with disabilities. I mean, they deserve all the dignity in the world just like everyone else.
Absolutely.
But let's not pretend they're ninjas if they can't get off the mat without assistance. You know, that's not inclusion. That's just improv theater with a guilt complex.
Well, you know, if we're handing out black belts for that kind of imagination, then the folks who think Jim Morrison faked his death are all grand masters. There's an article I've got to share with you with this madness, right?
Well, I'm already regretting it. Go ahead.
You should be. So, okay. This is a Netflix documentary too. So this article was based on this Netflix documentary, which I have not watched. I just read the article about this. So apparently, now dig this. He's alive. Jim Morrison is alive and living
in Phoenix.
He's in Syracuse, New York.
So you mean the Lizard King is out there buying snow tires and chicken wings?
It's blowing my mind, bro. So he fakes his death, apparently, is what we're trying to say. So anybody that's not familiar with the history of Jim Morrison and the frontman of one of the greatest rock and roll bands outside the Beatles, one of the greatest rock and roll bands of all time, The Doors. So Jim Morrison apparently faked his death in 1971. Okay. So now we rocking flannel shirts. You know, we're sipping Dunkin' and living off the grid in upstate New York.
Upstate New York.
According to the article, he keeps a low profile, but still recites his poetry to stray cats and
So
shit like that.
basically, he's a barista without a shift, is what you're telling me.
We're faking her death. I mean, this has been 44 years ago. 54 years ago, bro. This is the guy that sang Break On Through the Other Side. And now he's just trying to break through the line at Wegmans before the rotisserie chicken sell out.
I always figured if Jim Morrison faked his death, he'd at least end up somewhere, dramatic.
This is the guy from The Doors, maybe running a bait shop next to an Applebee's.
Probably demands to be paid in vinyl records, too.
His neighbors have no clue. I mean, apparently they're like, hey, Jim is a quiet guy, smells like incense, and shouts out to squirrels,
I can actually just hear the HOA meetings now. Jim, we had some complaints that your snake spirit guide is slithering into people's flower beds again.
I mean, I don't know if he's just, he stares in the sky, just whispering, the lyrics to This Is the End, and his neighbor Sheila's trying to get the begonias to come in.
Man, wherever he is, I hope he's at peace, whether he's in Paris, Syracuse, or he's haunting the produce aisle at Trader Joe's.
Listen, before we get out of the Jim Morrison rabbit hole, not even in the same article, but I'd read another article that they just recovered the stolen bust of Jim Morrison that was on his grave originally when he had died.
From his grave in Paris.
Yes. Somebody stole that thing. Been gone for years.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
And now it's been found.
Huh. What led to it? Was it like, were they looking for it?
It was a raid. They were raiding something else. It had nothing to do. It's not like these guys were looking for the bust of Jim Morrison. And it turned up in a random police search. I don't know where this was stuck. Maybe it was in the cabinet. We had some expired cans of Chef Boyardee, and oh look, this is the bust of Jim Morrison. And I'm assuming it was instantly recognizable. I don't really know.
So let me get this straight. So Jim Morrison is possibly alive in Syracuse, and meanwhile,
correct,
his ghost head's been hanging out in someone's garage next to a broken leaf blower.
That's kind of the size of it. Somewhere there's a guy like, okay, yeah, that was my Jim Morrison bust. I keep it next to the signed picture of Fabio.
You know who would have found that bust in like 15 minutes?
Who? Dog the Bounty Hunter?
That guy. Don't even get me started on that guy. Give me a break. I just saw a reel of him the other day. I don't know what it is about this guy, but every time I see him, I feel like I'm watching a sentient bottle of Axe body spray that just got lost at a monster truck rally.
This cat walks around like he's a Navy SEAL.
Well, this dude acts like he's kicking indoors in Kandahar or something. Bro, you're in Albuquerque trying to find a guy who bounced a $150 bail bond over expired tags. You're not exactly Delta Force. You're more like Delta Farce.
He's got a taser in one hand. He's got a Bible in the other. He's got a Marlboro Light tucked behind his ear.
What is he, like 5'0"? He's stomping around in these 9-inch platform boots like he's auditioning for the role of Prince in Roadhouse. 5 years old, he looked like a Shar-Pei.
The whole damn thing was like an episode of Cops, meets Tiger King, but it was more hairspray and probably no dental insurance.
Well, look at man, you and I are musicians, right? So our idea of a dental plan is to chew on the side that doesn't hurt, right?
After just trying to understand the chaos that is Dog the Bounty Hunter's moral compass, we could talk about a whole different kind of navigational system. This one yells at you, makes no sense, and possibly drinks between turns, ladies and gentlemen. Orson Welles is now a GPS voice.
No way.
Dig this. There's a GPS app that lets you choose Orson Welles as the voice giving you directions. So
it's great. So because nothing says safe commute like a gravel voice genius with a wine hangover yelling at me to turn left.
It sounds like it's being delivered by Julius Caesar on his third glass of Parmesan. We will sell no wine. We will take no exits before their time.
Look, dude, I don't need a GPS that sounds like it's judging my soul when I'm just trying to get to a Chick-fil-A.
And this one's coming from the man who invented condescending brilliance, right? So you miss a turn and it's like, yeah, you disappoint me. Like the second act of The Magnificent Ambersons.
I want to know who thought this was a good idea. You know who should guide people through construction zones? A guy who once stormed off a Frozen Peas commercial because the script lacked emotional depth.
Take the roundabout. No, the other roundabout, you Philistine.
Listen, you want to know who the real Philistines are? LinkedIn. That's who.
That piece of crap.
No, just hang on a second, bro. So they got to listen to me rant an extra 90 seconds. Face it. That's what this dog and pony show's all about.
It
anyway,
pretty much is.
Look, this week, my wife and I, being the tech-savvy pioneers that we are, right?
Of course.
We decided to venture into the wild, untamed jungle of social media to set up another account. So we've got this new organization, the Flood Legacy Foundation, noble mission, meaningful purpose.
Of course.
And where did we choose to plant our digital flag? LinkedIn. Because nothing says changing the world like a site where people endorse you for knowing PowerPoint.
Dude, that's a bold move. I'm just saying that whole website is like the DMV for ambition. You know, it's and bragging about how they once optimized synergy or some shit like that in 2012.
Exactly. And I thought, how hard could it be, right? We just enter our email, and then suddenly LinkedIn decides we're not real people, okay? So that was the first thing. Like we're bots trying to sell protein powder to life coaches or something. So we get locked out, and then I get sent on this password reset loop. I'm in a CAPTCHA spiral, and then get this. Then we're told someone already has our organization's name. It's literally my last name.
So now the whole foundation is moonlighting as a freelance recruiter or something in Cincinnati.
At this point, I felt like I needed a LinkedIn endorsement just to get into LinkedIn. So then get this, because I didn't enter the code fast enough or I blinked incorrectly at a verification screen, I can't finish the account.
It could have been either one, really.
Yeah. So now LinkedIn thinks I'm suspicious, but I cannot stop receiving emails from LinkedIn.
There's no way to unsubscribe for this stuff. You're just like you're living like a ghost on LinkedIn, dude. I mean, you're now the phantom CEO in a business suit, just floating through these servers. And
exactly. I'm a phantom, and every time I get one of those emails, it's like, "Hi, LG. Here are 7 people you may know." No. No, I don't know them, and I don't want to know them. And why are 3 of them always these life coaches again?
Yeah. It's almost like they're trying to recruit you into a motivational pyramid scheme. Get to that entire damn website.
You're doing this to me on purpose. You're doing this to me on purpose, man. Every single time I hit unsubscribe, they come back, right? I report them as spam. I block them. I've even prayed over the inbox, and still they come. It's like LinkedIn is powered by some dark force in the cloud that refuses to believe I'm covered by the blood.
It's like the Terminator of emails. You know, it can't be reasoned with. It can't be bargained with, and it just will not stop until you connect with Greg from HR.
Well, that's it. I'm done. I mean, I've declared digital war. Next week, I'm coming for all of them. LinkedIn, Twitter, that one app that tracks your water intake, I'm coming for them too. If it's in the cloud, it's going down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. In the meantime, folks, you're listening to Back to the 80s, where we built this city on rock and roll and then got banned from LinkedIn for trying to list it as a former employer. I'm your host, LG.
And I am the Chad. And guys, today we're going to talk about a movie from the 1980s. We're going to talk about some music. We're going to talk about a little pop culture. And I've got one for you this week, my man, from 1989. And that movie is called Leviathan. It's LG and the Chad.